season, unless you want to celebrate the presentation, which gives you to February 2nd, so the street might be up till then, I don't know. Because today we will not take down the Christmas manger because we've got confirmation retreat going on this afternoon, so you're free from that. But anyways, we look at the end of it with the three magi. We want to get rid of a couple of mythologies. First of all, is that when we talk about three magi, there's nothing in the scripture that says there are three magi. Huh? That says there's three gifts: gold, frankincense, and myrrh. So that's our focus, not these three guys. It may have been 15, it may have been 2, it may have been, we have no idea how many. The other is, in terms of the star, if you will. Because you can imagine a star, and there's still scientists trying to work on making sure they get these planets aligned. But there is no alignment they'll ever come up with that could say it stopped here, and then it moved here, and then it went this way, and then it showed right over top of one particular place. There is no such conglomeration. But there is a good possibility that there's an angel. Just as the angels appear to shepherds to lead them to Bethlehem, it's quite possible that an angel led them. And the other is that in terms of Herod killing, we're talking about how old was he? Because how long did they follow? People think of the Magi being on the road for 2 years kind of thing. Well, because Herod killed 2-year-olds, it doesn't say anything about how old the baby was, how long ago. Herod wanted to keep his bets, if you will, to make sure I'm going to get him for sure by taking all 2 or 3-year-olds on down. It may well have been that the angels were leading these Magi for even 2 weeks. Be sufficient time to get across to where they were coming from. So those are not the important thing. The important thing we're looking at today is the reality of the fulfillment of the Old Testament is what? Is that Jesus would come into the world, God would become man to save the Jews, right? Yeah, but that's not all. In other words, Jesus did not come to us just to be with the Jews. He came for all peoples, every culture, every nation on earth shall adore you. And that's the message of the scriptures today, is to let us know, as Paul says in the second reading, that includes me. That includes me, because I wasn't born by any Jewish ancestry that I know of. I might act like it sometimes, but it's not true. So think of Jesus coming for all peoples. And in that coming, there's appropriate gifts to give. And so we think of these three gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. And that's our challenge today as we look at those gifts. Because certainly gold speaks to people throughout the world. Some have more value than others, but it can be used for trading almost anywhere you go that I know of. And so we think of the gift of our possessions, if you will, what's most valuable to us. As we look at that, and we say, yes, how can we give less if Jesus is the Son of God? And so you and I know, as persons Christians, as Jews, we are called to tithe, and we're called to give a trust in God. God says, trust me in this. And today we're going to be listening to a video. Anytime you see TV up, you probably wouldn't know it has something to do with money. Church is getting ready for a capital campaign here in our diocese, something we've never done, but most institutions do have such a thing. We've been able to put it off for a long time. We are looking at that. And so the church knows that, and trust, we all tithe. We all give. The church says, give where your own charity, your own heart leads you. Just give part of it to the local church. So no big deal there. Bishop's just saying we'd like to be considered for a little more of it than maybe some other charities that you're looking at. So we give God our treasure. We bring that before Him as a sign of trust in Him. God, you gave it to me. I trust you with all that I have. And then we look at the gift of frankincense. What's the big deal with frankincense? Well, frankincense is extremely significant when you think about most every culture on earth offers sacrifice. Almost every culture, except some European background now in recent years. But otherwise, we offer sacrifice. Sacrifice means that you take something, you totally immolate it. You totally burn it up. You give it to God. It's gone. You can't find any useful purpose for us because it's His. And so as we look at sacrifice, one of the signs of sacrifice has often been in many cultures, incense. I know if you go to college, they say, well, you know why incense was used? That's to cover up the smell of those dead animals. And it's like, well, yeah, it worked for that too. And we still like to cover up some unpleasant smells. But it is offered because it carries up, it's gone. And so we think of how many Christians, how many Jews lost their lives because they would not even offer a little grain of incense before the emperor or before some false god. So it's truly a symbol that says, this is God, nothing else, nobody else. That people offer sacrifice to God. And that's why, if you'll notice during the canon of the Mass today, how many times you will hear that word sacrifice. And that's what we come together for. We come to offer God the sacrifice of Jesus himself, who gave himself on the altar as that high priest. It is a sacrifice. So as we think of that gift, then we also look at the gift of myrrh. Why myrrh? And when myrrh is brought up, we think of the women who went to the tomb to bury Jesus. They brought myrrh. It's a sign of death. It's a reminder, prophecy that this one you call God, this baby, is going to die. Because he became like us in all things except for sin. He truly did die. Good news is he rose too. He overcame death. And for us, we say, death, where is your sting? Death, where is your victory? You and I. While we may not like sometimes the way we die, we don't like having to be with people who are dying, death itself is not the threat. But you and I look at death as a transition to something so much better than what we even get a sample of here. So death is a part of the figure. As we look at death, we say, okay, what's all this gold? I'm not taking it with me. None of us can. What's with incense? Well, if I haven't offered everything to God, then what am I doing? Do I want to be with God or not? If I do, then we have to offer everything. Ourselves and all that we have to the Lord. And in that way, we approach death. We approach the final days of saying, Lord, I had it all for you. I gave it all to you. I'm yours. Today, let's finish this Christmas season knowing that God has called each one of us, to be in his kingdom with him, that he came for us. He came for all nations, all peoples, no exception. Today we will take time to look at this video, and at the end of Mass,